So Wandile, I would like us to talk about the previous production season in terms of performance. What would you say about the 2020-2021 production season?
Yeah, the previous season was the 2019-20 production season. And for South Africa's calendar or agricultural calendar, it was one of the best years. We were actually seeing a recovery after 2 consecutive years of contraction. You will know that 2018-19, bits of drought. 2017-18, there was also some bits of drought in there. So for 2019-20 production season, which is the crop that we harvested last year, it was good, pretty much all the commodities. If you look at the grain industry, for example, this was the second largest harvest on record. And obviously, we're getting this big crop, but also on the backdrop of that, there were higher commodity prices, which were pushed by some domestic factors like the exchange rate, but also global factors. China buying a lot of maize, but also South America threatened to have some bit of difficulties with dryness about La Nina for the following season. And all of that provided some good support on prices to an extent that for the most part, we saw maize prices trading at plus 20% on a year-on-year basis. And so that was a good boost for the grain farmers. But obviously, if you are a livestock farmer, the same cannot be said about you. You have to buy those soybeans, you have to buy those maize. So for livestock farmers, 2019-20 was somewhat a difficult year because of those higher grain prices, which were a gain for grain farmers. But if you look away from that and you look at the horticulture sector, it was also one of the best seasons. We just heard now, for example, the numbers from the citrus industry, which saw record exports of around about 146 million cartons that they actually exported. So it's been a windfall in that sense. But obviously, that's the aggregate view. If you start now to look at some of the subsectors, the wine industry, which even at the start or the end of 2020, going into the start of 2021, it was again affected by the regulations as much of the 2020 as well. And obviously there, you will remember some commodities we discussed last year, like the wool industry and the likes. But broadly, good year. Growth will be between 10 and 13%. Food price inflation also fairly subdued, averaging at 4.8% last year. So it was a good year.